Hello, wild boys and butterfly girls! Welcome to another Duranie distraction. Oh, it's so good to have you guys back. Wow, let's just talk a little bit about the Roger Taylor birthday celebration. That was like a whole nother level of special, and I felt it from beginning to end, and I was so excited to just share all those memories with you, and next time there definitely will be more. I want to fill up, I'd love to fill up all 2 hours of memories. And just on that note, I want to let you know that probably in mid-May, I will be casting a little bit of a net for memories about Nick and John in advance of their birthdays. So be prepared, okay? I mean, there's no escaping, having to get into this for each of the band's birthdays this year. So at least 3 more times. Just trying to think about your own memories and reflections for John and Nick and eventually Simon. It's incredibly special. I'm sitting there recounting fans' encounters with Roger. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love talking with you guys, but hearing those memories was just so, I got the feels from beginning to end, and I loved all the feedback. Apparently people really enjoyed it. And I will have you know, due to the kindness of people on the inside, I believe the links to the Roger broadcast may actually be forwarded to Roger. So that is, I let that sink in, right? I don't have a place for that. I have to make a place. So who knows? Roger might be seeing all that. And thank you so much for all the participation. And so next time, bigger, bolder, better. Totally, right? So welcome to another Duranie distraction. My attire today is courtesy of Giorgio Guarnieri, a fantastic fan in Italy who is just enmeshed in all kinds of amazing projects. He's the producer of a festival that celebrates Live Aid. He's a DJ. He's a huge Duranie, and he sent me this shirt. And those Eagle memories out there will probably recognize the shirt as a similar design that Simon wore from the Scabulo session. So we'll probably see that in one of the books today. Anyway, thank you, love to Italy and Giorgio. Thank you so much. It's great to kind of be representing you, and little love going out to you. Thanks so much for everybody tuning in. This is so exciting. We are right back. And before we get started, I want to do a little self-affirmation, so here we go. Shake it off. Find a place, breathe, let the stresses just roll off you, and find your center. Okay, I am strong enough, I am brave enough, and gosh darn it, I'm a lot easier than a nuclear war. Okay, that's good. So glad to have you guys. Okay, Aaron McGee is here and Sue Tandy is joining us. So we're going to dive into a book here. This is, volume 2 of a bigger size. And what's going to be really cool is I went through this. I'm starting to learn how to prepare for this stuff. I went through this, and there's going to be some things in here that are going to paint a mental picture. Just of the band's earlier days. There's some just little bits of interviews that I pulled out. So I'm going to try to be a little specific and share these with you. And thanks to Christine again for backdrop. This is a flag from Italy. I went all notorious today. So it's a very artsy rendition of the band, peeking over my shoulder and sending love to you guys along with me. And thanks again for Madison Holloman. She's putting all these distractions up on my YouTube channel, so if you've missed any, you can indulge and just kind of catch some old episodes that you might have missed. I love everyone who's just really paying attention to these and letting me know that they really enjoy watching. It's like the best compliment, and you guys are doing just as much for me as I might be doing for you. Trust me. There's plenty of reason to get distracted with love and kindness and all the feels that you guys give me. Okay, here we go. We're going to start off with Duran history from 1981. This is from a UK tabloid. Right here. Awesome old picture, very new romantic. And in this, they talk a little bit about their earlier years, just getting started. And what's really cool is that it just paints this mental picture, like what were the band going through, right? So there's a spot right here where Andy says, when things happen quickly, it's easy to lose sight of what's going on, but I'll always remember the first night of our British tour at Brighton. I don't use one. We're having a little connection difficulties. I stood by the side of the stage before we went on and just let all the atmosphere from the concert soak in. Just imagine, I mean, Andy Taylor nervous and like, you know, the band just about to go on the stage. That's just so, it truly transports you. I remember how I used to feel when I went to see my favorite groups, and I just couldn't believe that now. People were doing that for me. I admit the nerves did get to me, and I was physically sick before I went on. So was John. It was silly, really, but I think it did us good and made us come down to earth. Everything was new and exciting to us during our European tour. Wow, that just is, you know, it really brings you into those early years. This is not stuff that we usually know about. And, you know, I've actually given a lot of thought to that. You know, going through some of these articles, remembering how, you know, it was just me and my limited income, you know, buying these magazines in the newsstands. But then as I learned what the band were going through when their star was starting to rise, I mean, I've talked a little bit about this before, but as we get into articles and features from after the band reunited, there was a lot of information coming out about at that time where the band would elaborate on the stories behind the scenes. And it was pretty magical to like really learn what was going on, because I was clueless, right? This little kid from, you know, Seattle, Washington, just, you know, learning about the band, and I mean, I had no idea what was really happening and how things happened. Anyway, I just don't want to get carried away. Thought I'd share that with you. So yes, Duran Duran leave planet Earth and reach for the stars. And and just so you know, during the Roger broadcast, I have to say this. Some of you might have noticed maybe a couple times I showed something upside down. You thought it was an accident? Couldn't be farther from the truth. I was simply inviting you to see the band's history from a new angle. That's all that was. Okay. So, moving on. Okay. So there's a couple big milestones that really stuck out to us. One of them, of course, was when the band were on Saturday Night Live, and then also whenever the band appeared in Rolling Stone, which wasn't too often. Whenever they did, it was a major thing, right? So this is an article from Rolling Stone magazine, May 12th, 1983, and I picked out the very opening paragraph because it really, again, paints that picture. Debbie Cordair is here. Michelle Vickers-Troncoso. Welcome back. Hey, good to see you guys. So some great familiar names and even some new ones. So this opening paragraph is really, really interesting because it paints this picture. Just listen to this. This is from Park Putterbaugh, who is an established journalist from New York. Having just spent an entire day at a rehearsal on the set of Saturday Night Live, and with an itinerary of appointments still to come, the members of Duran Duran are debating an issue of the most pressing urgency: how best to leave the NBC building. You see, there's a gaggle of screaming teenage girls waiting outside, and a building security manager urges the band to leave sight unseen from a far wing. But no, they don't believe in isolating themselves from their following, so they make their way through the throng, inciting high-frequency squeals and even a tear or two from the grateful assemblage of Duranis. This sort of crowd has been turning up at every stop on Duran's 3-day promotional trek to the U.S. My gosh, right? I love that image. Just the everything we recognize. Some of us were a part of that. It screams everything about that time. Like Duran Duran, we were all learning about the band, eager, soaking up, leaping on every single public outing and every appearance. And I wish I'd been a part of that. I had completely missed out. My nervous system probably couldn't have handled it, so it's probably better off. But I'm trying to make up for it now. So, anyway, this appeared in Rolling Stone magazine. Great shot of the band, and Simon is actually holding a snake. Yeah, that's guts. That looks like some kind of a python or something. Oh, and if this image seems a little squeezed, I'm learning that Facebook might be slowing down its speed, so I apologize if there's any technical difficulties or it doesn't look as good as it could, but hopefully you can still see everything right. I believe the snake is real, Fabby, if that was your question. The band are certainly real, right? Totally real, no stand-ins. Roman is here. Hey, Roman Mahalik. Hello. Far side of the world there. Okay, so this is a great article that goes on. And I think over here. Oh, here's something else that I picked out. Yes. Not that Duran Duran go around acting like briefcase-toting lawyers, mind you. At one of their Saturday Night Live rehearsals, while waiting on stage for sound levels and camera angles to be set, they spontaneously broke into hilariously funny snatches of other bands' songs, like the Rolling Stones' Waiting on a Friend, Billy Joel's It's Still Rock and Roll to Me, and Lou Reed's Sweet Jane. So they were kind of getting out of hand a little bit, and it looks like they had to be calmed down by one of the managers backstage. So, I mean, they're still kids, really. They're at the verge of their stardom, but they still haven't completely grown up. And that's really fun to learn. I just wanted to share that with you. Here's a great assortment of photos of Duran Duran with Red Ronnie. I've mentioned him before. He's a fixture in the Italian journalism community. He's been a huge proponent of the band, a big name in Italian radio. Some old pictures of Red Ronnie with the band. Very cool. And another issue of Rolling Stone, we're going to go to another feature on Live Aid, and this kind of goes out to Giorgio. Love you. Thanks so much for the shirt. So the day the world rocked. Now let's all imagine where we were at Live Aid, right? Oh my gosh, that was quite a day. Quite a day. The day the world rocked. There's pictures here of everyone, seemingly everyone except Duran Duran, but it's really fun to see all the artists. There were so many memorable performances that day. Absolutely amazing. Oh yes, and on Monday, Red Ronnie will have Nick. He'll be talking with Nick on Monday, so that's very cool. Thanks so much, Fabby. That's right, there's still some really exciting things happening out there for the band, even though this pandemic has definitely made an impact on us. You okay? Okay. Connection problems. Fun with the internet. Bono leaping off the stage. It's George Michael up there. David Bowie getting his hair done right next to Mick Jagger. Backstage, Bob Geldof. Really, really great, exciting shots. There's so much energy, so many legends all together on that stage. Just imagine the logistics of fitting all those icons on one stage. That's crazy. And so that's talking more about the organization of the Live Aid and Bob Geldof's perspective on things. That's kind of fun. And then there's a little bit which talks about Duran Mania. So I thought I'd pluck that out for you. It says, on Thursday, July 11th, the Duranis began gathering at the Palace Hotel. Their heroes, hoping to get in a little rehearsal time before Saturday's show, were already there. So were the members of the power station. Sitting in the Palace bar, Andy Taylor tried to introduce Duran's Nick Rhodes to power station drummer Tony Thompson and singer Michael DeBar. Rhodes didn't seem too interested, neither did his wife. Then somebody asked how Duran's first rehearsal in 6 months had gone, and Nick said, "We're not too bad for a bunch of fairies." Okay, that's in print. So I don't know if you knew that. I didn't know that. Little backstage kind of antics and fun. Okay, this is an ad for a whole bunch of shows that were radio sponsored, and Duran Duran were a part of that. And this is kind of fun. This is a huge feature on star hits, talking about star hits and smash hits and how that whole process happened with the formation of the American equivalent and how that all went. And let's see, here's a close-up of that. I remember first learning that Neil Tennant from the Pet Shop Boys wrote for smash hits, right? Yes, and that was kind of fun. And then he became like featured in the pages himself. That must be really cool. So here's some little bits that I pulled out because there's not much to look at, right? Okay, so. And this is something that really struck a nerve with me in a good way. This is something that makes me think about how proud we are of this band. Periodically in this article, they talk about Duran Duran in relation to the magazines. It says, let's see, the fact that Roger, Nick, Andy, John, and Simon played their own instruments and wrote their own material meant the world to their fans. Still does. We're really, really proud of that. I know I feel that. I've definitely heard that from others. After all, Duran's music was fairly complex as well as catchy, danceable art rock, and the lyrics were just nonsensical enough to appeal to budding poetic sensibilities. Oh, I love that. You know, just this is a band that still gives us reason to, you know, hold our heads high and be proud, and just really love this band for not just being beautiful and flashy and exotic, I mean, but being real musicians. They know what they're doing. That's really cool. Okay, and then a little quote. When a TV reporter asked Simon why he and so many other rock stars dated models, Duran's lead singer stared back in sincere belief. Wouldn't you? That's so Simon, right? Anyway, okay. So here's an ad for Duran Duran's Thank You album. Very cool. Advertised in Sam Goody. And it says, see Duran Duran perform on The Tonight Show, June 22nd, and at KIIS in Unite. I think those are 2 radio stations, on Saturday, June 24th. So definitely was some great press going on around that album. And then we're going to get into a huge article featured in Goldmine, which is a staple of the record collecting community. Very cool. Oh, good to see you here. Greg Benoit is here. I read his great reflection on how he came to be a drum tech assist for Roger. That was really, really touching. Sharon Rackham King is here. Hey, Sharon! Okay, so Goldmine magazine. This is, let's see, this is from January 16th, 1998. It's a huge, massive, beautiful, in-depth interview with the band, recounting their history. Some great pictures. And here we have something I plucked out here. So Duran Duran is tracked down for a fresh look at a pop music dynasty. And let's see. Okay. So in a mere 2 years at this point, they're recounting way back in the beginning. I was talking to some. Oh yeah, this is cool. John writes. He says, I was talking to some bloke in a Birmingham bar, and it comes up that I play in a band. He asks me the name, and I tell him Duran Duran. Then he says, Duran Duran, are you guys still going? And John bursts into laughter. Why? Because that happened around 1979, before the group had even released their first single. We'd been around Birmingham a lot by then, he explains. Playing with different lineups is almost a bit of a joke. Okay, who's the singer this week? That was great. It was all good sport and stopped me from thinking about getting a real job. I love it when they reflect on their career. It's just really makes it real, right? Just really brings everything a lot closer to home, and you learn actually what was going on back then. So there's some great pictures here. And it's always fun to see the band on the cover of a magazine. Steve Thompson is here, and Stephanie Bristow. Welcome, pull up a seat, grab your hug. They are definitely in place for all of you from me. So it goes on and lots of stuff to read, but right now we just got two really cool backstage pictures. This is from the Green Street Cafe session. They held a press conference, and Roger is standing beside a policeman, probably signing an autograph. Okay. We saw a lot of that during the Sin Blue Silver documentary, them signing autographs, getting mobbed. I never tire of that stuff. Okay, here's it goes on. Here's a page. It contains something that I thought I'd pull out. Let's see. Oh, this is very, very touching. I believe it was John's talking, and he says, now I know, remembering the 84 tour and all the chaos and craziness that was happening. Now I know that what would have been great for the band back then would have been this 2 or 3 hour group therapy right after the show. How did you feel about that? What did it make you feel? Simon, how did it make you feel when they were shouting, John, John? John, how did it make you feel when that bra landed on the stage? Because we never got a chance to process it. It was just insanity. And that set the base for the next 3 years. That's a really interesting perspective, you know, just thinking about how quickly things were happening for the band. And I mean, I think about things that have happened in my life, and I have the benefit of taking time to just sit with it. And, I have my own ways of going through things and really plucking out the emotions and wrestling and processing. But, everything happened at lightning speed for the band. So that was interesting little reflection, I thought. And then over here, there's a great ad for the shows that Duran did in Vegas, August 25 and 26, and 28 through the 31st in LA. That's kind of fun. Great shows. Stacy Brown. Hey, Stacy! Okay. And there's another picture of the band at the press conference on Green Street in New York. And then John reflects here about when he left the band, when he had to leave, and that certainly is insightful. Doesn't feel all that great to know to find out what he was going through, but I'm glad that he took care of himself. He says, the very things that appealed to me about being in a band became so constrictive. The idea that everywhere I went, people thought I was one of 3 brothers. I needed to sort of state my own independence. I kind of recommend that to everyone, right? You kind of find your own identity and figure out who you are. And stand on your own 2 feet. Everything I learned about life, I learned from Duran. And it goes on, and there's a great shot of Simon from about 1995. I remember that tan cow print jacket and the really tight white leather pants. I'll just leave it right there. But yeah, he always has an image, a great image. Lots of details about the band. Sabri Taylor is here. Oh, very cool. Welcome. Okay. Oh, this is really interesting. So we're getting into talking about 1989, and John he was talking about his feelings about being in the band and what he's needing, and he's reflecting on this. And I had no idea about this. There's a mix of drug. It's just a state of mind. He says, I nearly left the band when Big Thing was finished because we'd had an argument over the song Drug. The original version of the song is one of the B-sides of the limited edition triple pack 7-inch versions of Do You Believe in Shame. That original version of Drug is about 7 minutes long, but when we went with that crappy remix version of the song that appears on the album, I couldn't believe it. We got into this very intense argument. He goes on to, I don't want to dwell on the low points, but there's just a lot of evolution that this band has gone through, And, you know, I've raised the question before that's come up for me, like, how much do I really want to know what this band went through? But it does make them real. You know, these are humans. These are people who've gone through a range of all their emotions as they're trying to make, you know, take their art school project to the next level, constantly changing and pushing it, breaking new ground. So yeah, it's some interesting information. This is the big discography, and I would never make any sounds about knowing, you know, all the specifics of all the releases. I'll leave that to the real professionals like Peter Brinkoff. Like, hats off to you and all the record collectors out there who really know, you know, all the particulars of what was released. And Giorgio's writing, you sent me a private message. I haven't read it because I had to start the show, so I apologize. I will definitely look forward to it. Huge hugs, love from me to you. I'm so glad you're watching. Okay, oh, great shot. We all recognize this. Love it, love it, love it. Even in black and white, it just brings off a heat that I can feel. Love seeing them like that. One of my favorite shots. Tanya, Zach, Giorgio, and Tanya, you guys have been so supportive. I love you. Just okay. I don't mean to dwell on how much affection I have for you guys, but you guys just do amazing things over in Italy. Some great Italian fans out there, fans all over, have just been so supportive. I love you guys. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so this is, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. This is from, this is The Observer, 2003. So we're zooming ahead to when the band was reuniting. And this is an amazing photo session by David LaChapelle, who does really extraordinary photography. You guys have me all verklempt and I can't speak. Okay, look at this. In their own words, Duran Duran reveal all. Talk about their history, the drugs, the models, the highs, the lows, and the comeback. But look at this. Isn't this a great shot? Simon and Nick on a yacht with models. That just says everything you need to know about Duran Duran. Actually, there's a lot more you need to know, but it's just such a great image, and they have such poise, such charisma and confidence. I just love that they can just roll these kind of photo sessions off and just look like they belong in them. So as it talks to all kinds of insiders close to the band, one of the people they talk about is would talk with Stephen Duffy. And Duffy had a really interesting quote from the very beginning about Nick. He says, we used to wear strange old clothes from charity shops, quite nice 1950s fitted jackets. Nick was worried about the makeup. I said, don't worry, Nick. In 6 months' time, all men will look like this. I was wrong. In 6 months' time, only Nick looked like that. So, that's really fun. That's really fun. Nick just totally pulls it off. I love that man. Okay. Oh, and then over here, oh, this is great. Oh, that's right. They talk about the big Duran Mania years again in this feature, and they're talking about filming all their videos in these exotic locales. And Simon says, when you're 19 and someone says, do you want to make a video on a yacht in the Caribbean? You don't say, what kind of statement are we supposed to be making here? It was girls, boats, yes please. Oh, that's great. And John says, it seemed like such a stupid idea, but Simon was a drama student, so he pulled it off. How many ways has Simon called upon his drama experience to just elevate everything? So glad he actually came from that background. It really came in handy, I'd say. Good shots from across the band's career. Simon on the ropes on the yacht, and Yasmin, she's just absolutely gorgeous. Okay, and then they talk about the power station, and there's Band-Aid. Nick talks about buying a Picasso on his Amex. That was kind of like a status statement at that point. And working with Andy Warhol. Apparently, Andy Warhol wanted to do a Duran Duran record album cover, and John was like, "No, Rolling Stones have done it." So they passed on that. But that would have been an interesting concept. to see come to fruition. There's a great shot of Band-Aid. I tell you, every time I hear that song, I zero in on Simon's parts. Even when I hear it in a department store, right? I can just like sing it with him. It's like just ingrained in my mind forever. Chrissy Anderson Peter says, Yasmin rocks. She totally rocks. Totally rocks. Oh, that woman just simply does not age. Okay. So this is really fun. This is from The Village Voice in New York from 2003, and I believe it's written by Trisha Romano, who kind of reveals her own affection for the band in this, and she talks about a show that was performed at Webster Hall in August. If there's an opportunity, she says, if there's one opportunity in life not to be missed, it's the opportunity to go to Atlantic City to see all 5 original members of Duran Duran. Oh, okay, so that's they played in Atlantic City for this show that she's reviewing, so that's very fun. There's a picture of Simon on stage and a great shot of the band all lined up. And, and then Yasmin talks, and she says, I'm sure I broke a lot of hearts when we got married, her and Simon. The fans were good to me, but there was one girl who scared me. I was in a Korean deli about 1 a.m. Getting some juice, and she popped her head round the aisle and fixed me with this really psychotic look. I thought, I'm going to get axed to death by a Duranie. So that's a memory that she shared. I can't imagine what that would feel like. I mean, you're tinkering with all the hopes and dreams of how many Duranis, right? Everyone wanted to marry Simon, except for those who wanted to marry John or Nick or Andy or Roger. It's a great, great interview. Andy Taylor reflects, when they wrote Ordinary World, Simon played me the demo. I thought, bastards, that's good. That's really cool to get that kind of recognition from Andy. That's kind of fun. Okay. So good to have you here. Pam Gardner's here. Oh, wow. Pam Gardner was at that show in Atlantic City. It was one of the best she's been to. That's so fun. That's so fun. Okay, we're going to wind up with a great feature from the Sydney Morning Herald. Once again, back to Australia. Love those Duranis down under. And I brought this, I picked this out because it really touched base with something that I feel, something that Duran Duran said. Let's see, who said this? This is John said this. He said, us getting back on stage has crystallized the affection for the band that people hold still. We're tapping into this huge reservoir of excitement and good feeling that people have for us. I guess because we were always a fun band. We went out there to entertain people and make them happy. That's kept very fresh for us. And, that's just a sentiment that remains just as relevant as ever. Somehow it stood out to me, especially now when, concerts are being canceled and big plans are being delayed. I mean, this is a band that is just still fresh and relevant for us. And, I share that. I feel it. I'm excited for what's coming for the band. And but most of all, I'm excited to share all of it with you. So that's just been really fun. So, I picked that out, and I hope you got enjoyment out of those little bits. I wanted to read all the features, right, and to share everything with you. But I kind of listened to my voice, and I'm like, okay, am I talking too much? Maybe I should be, sharing more. Maybe I should just sit here and just hug you all, right? But that was my original plan. But okay, so we are coming up to another book, and it's going to have tons of foreign stuff. Oh my God, there's going to be so many pictures. We're going to go to Japan, UK, lots of Italian stuff. So yeah, we're going to get into this. I am going to be, I'll start a little bit. I'll get into it, and then I'll come back to it. I won't be able to go through this whole thing, but I think it's too soon. I don't want to go, right? Okay, so I'm going to start off with picture of John. Way early, black and white. You got two huge things going for it. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Just exquisite. Standing there. The shadows are on his side. He's just completely wearing some just outfit that looks like, I mean, would look just like rags on anyone else, but it's on John Taylor, right? So, just feeling that. Just, maybe it's just me. I don't think it's just me. Anyway, and the light's coming down, and that's actually, I think of a shot like this, and I think of Brandon. You know, she's really good at playing with the light and shadow, and does a lot of black and white shots. It's really cool to get those black and white shots. And of course, we have old pictures of each member in full color from Japan. Oh, shivers! Look at that. Love that. You can see Nick's green eyes. You know, you really can't see their eye color in a lot of shots. That's really cool. You can see Simon's blue eyes in this one. Something about the eyes, right? Okay, then we have John and Roger for those girls out there that must have their vitamin J and vitamin R. Staple of any Duranie diet. Fantastic stuff. Okay, and then we have Andy. Look at those eyes before he started wearing sunglasses, right? Great shot. And then we have a great feature, a photo feature on John. So yeah, it's all John from a Japanese magazine. So that's coming. Fasten your seatbelts. Love it. So cool. Okay. Double page spread. One photo, black and white. Oh, be still my heart. Oh my gosh, look at this. Japanese photography, guys. Whoa! And all this time, we've been constantly talking about how could a photo session with Duran Duran get any better? Add a puppy. Okay, so that's what we got. We've added a puppy and John Taylor. Love this stuff. Love this stuff. And this is fun. Periodically in Japanese magazines, you know, they can be just as crazy and creative as Italy. So you have cassette tape labels. So here you have some cartoons, and John is in one of these. I'll hold this one up. And then over here we have shots that are coming from the Rum Runner Club. So we go back even further. Really, really fun. Remember when we would all make those mixtapes, and it was really, we'd take those cassettes and we'd listen to the radio to try to capture our songs when they're played on the radio, and the DJs would all talk during the beginning and the end of the songs. Oh my God, that was just like pain. That was street cred, right? I mean, we would sit there. I remember sitting there with my radio. It's like, okay, they're gonna play Wild Boys again, but I don't want the talking. And I would just have my finger poised over the record button, and it was like, oh my God, it was maddening. It's like, okay, gotta do it over again. That was real. That was how we made our playlist. Right? We brought the commitment. I remember that. I was talking with someone a long time about that. It was nerve-wracking. You get so mad at the DJs. Great shots from the Rum Runner. This is really cool. This is kind of what I was talking about in some respects. About, you know, we just, you know, we were hanging on everything that would appear in the newsstands. But things like this, shots like this, it was like really peeling back the curtain so you could see what, you know, the stuff that you just never saw. The teen magazines would never get shots like this. And so you just saw like the nightlife and the band being what they were. I mean, they were musicians hanging out with their fellow musicians, partying, and just really enjoying the trappings of fame. And it was just really, really special. And here they are on a rooftop. Nick he has that grin going on, like a engine that just powers a small city. It's just a powered beauty generator. Same with Simon and Rod. They're all smiling. I don't know what they were smiling about, but probably thinking about their fantastic fans and how much they love them. That's probably what they're thinking. Nick Glista from Canada. Oh, thank you. Don't thank me. Thank you. We'll fight about it later. Okay. Oh, there's John, just relaxing and doing something goofy, and everybody is looking at him. And then, oh, here they are. They're playing the Dr. Pepper Music Festival. It's got to be from like 1982. And here's John, an early shot of John with Robert Palmer. That's really fun. They're small and they're black and white, and you know, the paper grain might make it difficult to see, but hopefully you saw those. Okay. Oh, great shot of John playing his bass with the wood grain look. Oh, I remember that so well. And then John and Roger. Oh, these are some great full color shots. Love it. Love it. Oh, that's so cool. This is the stuff that reduces me to a giggling schoolgirl. Okay, this stuff right here. Oh, look at this. I'm not sure who this is. It's a Japanese, it's a journalist or a show host or something, but all I need is these shots of Roger and John. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's fantastic. Look at those smiles. Andy is here. Love you, Andy. Okay. Oh, look at this. Oh my gosh, John is actually, he's sticking out his tongue. Oh, talk about a bonus, like, you know, finding that special toy at the end, at the bottom of a Captain Crunch box or something. It's like, sticking his tongue out. Whoa! Bonus! Okay, so then we, things that are gonna haunt me. Okay, so here we have Duran on the steps, Rebecca Blake's famous shot, steps of the Ragged Tiger photo session. And yeah, you see that? It's fantastic. And none of these are being held upside down. Okay. Oh, great action shot here from the '84 tour. And oh, all this is just like, hello, I'm awesome, let's go to town. Love Japan. Bless Japan for all their photographic wonder. A Spanish article. This is kind of dark, but it's a great shot of the band from like '81. And here's a still from the Girls on Film video. And good selections. Lots of Spanish Duranis out there. So guys, you're with me. Yay, we're doing this. We're doing this. Okay, so this is a German article. Simon wept to feed the world, and it shows, talks about Band-Aid. You can look really close, and you can see John over there. That's the thing. Whenever I've seen a picture of everyone gathered for the Band-Aid session, my eyes instantly zero in on, okay, where's Nick? Where's Simon? It's just like a laser, right? You just know what you're looking for. It's really fun. Duranis have distinctive, particular taste. Okay, and this is fun. This is a good example. We're going on to 1987 now, and perfect for the backdrop. And you got Duran on the front, and this is from, let's see, there's no year on it. But this is a fun cartoon feature. It has Simon drawn. And it's just really cool how Italians express their fondness for the band. Really, really creative stuff. They've released some books with artwork, and some of it looks like the band, some are artistically challenged, but it's still fun. Oh, great reclining shot of Simon. He looks like he is just owning that session. Really, really cool. Great old shot of Simon. I believe that's from Michael Putland. Good shot. I wonder if it was a coordinated strategic decision that they all wore stripes back then. That'd be interesting to find out. Okay, moving on into some 84 sessions. Love this shot. Love it. Okay. Look at this. Got close-ups, got all kinds of information that I can't read. So at least we have photos. Yay! And I look forward to when Italian fans can actually come to the archive and translate everything for 15 hours straight. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so it goes on. Oh, here we go. Here we go. The shirt. Okay, yeah, the universe is totally aligned right now. Great stuff. I'm going to venture out, go out on a limb, and say that Simon wore this better than me. I don't know, just my instinct. I'm just going to go with that. It goes on. There's a great shot of Simon, Arcadia era. And it goes on. Okay, so after this, I think we're going to take a little break. We will be back. We're going to finish this book, and then we're going to get into a whole nother one with much more to come. Crazy, glossy, fantastic pictures to make your eyes swell, and so much love coming at you. So I'm going to be back in a half hour. Okay, half hour. Do not go anywhere. I will be here. Looking forward to it. I can barely stand waiting, but I'm just going to give myself a little breather. And thank you so much for joining me. Oh my gosh, we are so far from done. But we are coming undone. So I guess that evens it out. Love you guys. Be back. Half hour.